This is Ella Star with your Key Races and Bets podcast for Saturday, May 3rd, 2025. Happy Derby Day. This Key Races and Bets podcast is brought to you by Amwager.com, a legal online U.S.-based horse racing wagering website with great betting perks and tools. Amwager.com is legal for residents of most states and covers most tracks in North America, as well as many around the world. Check it out at Amwager.com. You can also get the written version of this podcast, which is the Key Races and Bets blog, and it's free at Amwager.com. Click on How to Bet and Ella Star's blog. If you're not a member, check it out. You'll be glad you did. We're going to start with the Honey Ryder Stakes, race 7 at Gulfstream at 4:11 Eastern on Saturday, May 3rd. And there's two horses that stick out here, and those are Spirited Boss and Starship Impulsive. Spirited Boss just won the similar Santa Anita Stakes on the Gulfstream turf, getting her third win in a row. But even though she had won two straight before that, she was sent to post at 12-1. Spirited Boss put in a strong workout since then, the best of 24 for a half mile on the day, and she should hold her form, though obviously at lower odds than last time out. Spirited Boss improved to a career best and field high 104 equibase speed figure in the Santa Anita, and has the ability to win on the lead or off the pace, which should be good in this race. This is because Starship Impulsive stretched out to two turns on grass for the first time on April 5th in her last start, led from start to finish, improving to career best 95 speed figure. Reyes rode her for the first time, rides back, and Starship Impulsive should run even better in her second start going along on grass, similar to how Spirited Boss improved last time out in her second two-turn race. So, Starship Impulsive is the other horse with the bulk of the probability to win or finish second. In the Honey Ryder, race 7 at Gulfstream, 4:11 Eastern, Saturday, May 3rd, Spirited Boss should be considered for a win bet at 8-5 or more, Starship Impulsive 2-1 or more. You can bet both above those odds. And for the exacta, very simple exacta box, the Spirited Boss and Starship Impulsive is called for. Moving to the other coast for the Charlie Whittingham Stakes at Santa Anita, race 6 on Saturday the 3rd at 6:38 Eastern. The win contenders are City Exile and Additland. City Exile and Additland both ran the best race in the field in their most recent start and comprised the bulk of the probability to win this year's Whittingham Stakes by repeating those efforts. But City Exile gets slight preference because he will go to post the higher odds because that last race of his was an allowance, whereas Additland ran in and won the San Luis Race Stakes. City Exile didn't even win that last race. He had a fifth. When rallying from 7th to miss by a half length, he earned the very solid same 114 equibase speed figure, which Additland earned 2 weeks ago winning the San Luis Rey. Stretching out from a mile to a mile and a quarter is of no concern for City Exile because he wanted a mile and 3/8 two back, further than this distance, last July, before taking 7 months off and finishing 9th while short of fitness, making his third start off the layoff. Stretching out benefits a lot of improvement on the part of City Exile, and with two big workouts since race, he may be the one to beat, certainly the one to bet at higher odds than Additland. Additland has no real knocks, with a 3-for-9 record, 2 stakes wins. He won the 12 furlong San Luis Rey, as I mentioned earlier. He won the 9 furlong Twilight Derby in October, and all 3 wins have come with Berrios in the saddle. In the Charles Whittingham Stakes, race 6, Santa Anita, Saturday, May 3rd, 6:38 Eastern. We should consider win bets on City Exile and Additland 2-1 or more. I think only City Exile make that threshold. And for the exacta, a very simple exacta box of City Exile and Additland is called for here. Now moving on to the big race of the day. Race 12 at Churchill Downs, the Kentucky Derby, 6:57 Eastern. Even though due to restrictions, this race will not be available for wagering on Amwager.com, I figure I should cover it for everybody listening to the podcast or reading the blog. The win contenders in probability order, and there's going to be 7 here because there's 21 horses as of this time. The win contenders, in my opinion, in probability order are Journalism, Luxor Cafe, Baeza, who's also eligible, Sovereignty, Admire Daytona, Final Gambit, and Grande. This is a race where you do go deep because there will be a lot of value on some horses. The race is going to be run pretty fast early. The likely betting choice will be Journalism, who appears to be a legitimate favorite by virtue of his record, how fast he's run. Not only that, but he may be the beneficiary of a contested pace, which should be much faster than average. With his mid-pack running style, Journalism can take advantage at the point where horses which are on the lead are pressing the pace-setters tire. 4 of 7 that drew the inside Journalism, who breaks from the 8 post, appear to be horses which need the lead. In most races, of course, around 2 turns during the inside can present an advantage because running near the rail is the shortest path. However, in the Derby, having an inside post can be a disadvantage for horses, particularly which like to lead in a race, because they have to go fast early to get good position as other horses move close to the rail to avoid losing ground. This forces those horses that like to run early to go faster than they otherwise might. We saw exactly this scenario last year's Derby when the first quarter was 22.97, half mile 46.63. This resulted in the horses which were first, second, and third through the first part of the race finished 11th, 17th, and 15th. Similarly, in the 2023 Derby, the opening quarter was 22.35 and the half was 45.73. The result was the top 4 early horses ended up 16th, 14th, 13th, and 17th. In addition, last year, another need-to-lead type Dornoch got bumped out of the gate and never gained early position, finishing 10th. He broke from the rail, and this year Citizen Bull draws the rail, and considering all 3 of his wins around 2 turns were earned leading from start to finish, Citizen Bull will have to go very fast from the opening bell to get the lead, and he may or may not end up shuffled back like Dornoch and never get that kind of position. However, Rodriguez draws the 4 post. Both of his wins have been earned leading start to finish. He's another need-the-lead type. Similarly, Neo Equos earned his only win this year in a 1-turn race leading from start to finish, and in his recent 2-turn races he tired and finished 3rd. American Promise may be another who can only succeed on or right off the lead, because in one of his 2 wins he led from start to finish, although his recent win in the Virginia Derby he was 2nd for the opening half mile. However, it's important to note that Virginia Derby is a 1-turn mile, so he might be different around 2 turns, and he's drawn near the rail. American Promise may need to go fast first or second to get first or second in the first 100 yards or so as well. Then there's East Avenue, who won the Breeders' Futurity last fall, went in front from start to finish. Last month in the Bluegrass Stakes, he led from the start and was beaten right on the wire. Owen Almighty gets the 20 post, and it's likely to be one of those using his early speed to get close to the rail in the early stages. Owen Almighty won the Tampa Bay Derby in March leading from start to finish, and the Bluegrass, he chased East Avenue in second from the beginning before tiring. It's an example of a horse that needs to lead. When they don't get it, they get tired late. So, with all those horses having problems, and under this pace scenario, even if only 2 or 3 or 4, which have shown the need to lead in their previous races, go for the front from the start and don't get jostled and lose position like Dornoch did last year, journalism should find himself in the same spot he was in the Santa Anita in his 2025 debut on March 1st, when 4th in the early stages of the San Felipe Stakes before rallying to win. Similarly, in the Santa Anita Derby last month, journalism was 5th after a half mile before moving up to 2nd with an 8th and taking the lead. The 110 and 108 Equibase speed figures journalism earned respectively in those 2 races averaged the best last 2 in the field. Considering the Derby will be journalism's 3rd start of the year, he may not have run his best race yet, and even with others potentially also improving to run their best races, journalism may be the one they have to beat. One of those with potential to leapfrog over journalism and post the upset is Luxor Cafe. He's run 6 times to date, all in Japan, winning 4 in a row, the same as journalism. Although he's only run in Japan, local Luxor Cafe is a Kentucky-bred son of 2015 Triple Crown winner American Pharoah. His dam has produced 2 champions, Regal Glory, champion Turf Female 2022, and Cafe Pharoah, also by the same sire American Pharoah, Japan's champion dirt horse in 2022. So Luxor Cafe definitely has the pedigree to succeed in the Derby. In addition, in contrast to most of the horses which have run in the U.S. and faced fields of 10 down to 5 or 6, Luxor Cafe has won in fields of 16, 14, 10, and 11. So he shouldn't have a problem with a full field and traffic. Luxor Cafe earned 108, 105, and 105 Equibase speed figures in 3 of his 4 wins, which compare favorably to the 106, 108, and 110 figures journalism earned in 3 of his last 4 starts. So Luxor Cafe appears to be just as fast as journalism. In his most recent win, Luxor Cafe rallied from 6th and was very responsive when asked to extend his stride, which he did without much encouragement. The fact that he responded so easily is a sign of a smart, athletic horse that wants to win. Jockey João Moreira is one of the top jockeys in the world, rode the curve for the first time in that last race and rides back in the Derby. Moreira has won nearly 2,500 races in his career with $57 million in prize money. He's one of the top jockeys in the world. He's no stranger to the big stage, and that adds to the chance of Luxor Cafe running well. As I read about this race, Baeza is still number 21 and also eligible, who can only run if one of the 20 should withdraw. We did see this happen in 2022 when Rich Strike got into the field the day before and won. Baeza has run 2 big races in a row and appears ready for the Derby. 2 races ago, he won powerfully with a 104 figure. Then in the Santa Anita Derby, and facing the much more experienced journalism who had run 2 more times, Baeza moved up quickly on the far turn, got the lead in the stretch, but was passed by journalism and was 3/4 of a length back at the finish. Nevertheless, Baeza improved from a 104 to a 107 figure, which puts him on a pattern to run even better. The big story, for those that may be unaware, is Baeza is out of the mare Puka, who produced 2023 Derby winner Mage and 2024 Derby starter Dornoch, who went on to win the Belmont last June. If Baeza makes it into the gate, it would be a historic event to have Sons of Puka compete in the Derby in 3 straight years. Trainer John Sheriff is no stranger to bringing a long shot at the Derby, having sailed Giacomo to a 50-1 upset in 2002, and it must also be noted that jockey Flavian Pratt, who set an all-time record for stakes wins in North America last year, is named to ride both Baeza and Neo Equos, but has declared his preference to ride Baeza. So if Baeza gets to run, Neo Equos will need a different jockey. Moving on to Sovereignty, yet another talented equine athlete. In the 3rd race of his career, he won the Street Sense at Churchill, and that's important to have experience at Churchill last October. Then after 4 months off, and as if he hadn't been off at all, Sovereignty won the Fountain of Youth Stakes in March in Florida. 4 weeks later, he rallied for second in the Florida Derby. The truth of the matter is that Sovereignty did not have to win that race to enter the Kentucky Derby, as he had enough points based on his 2 prior wins, but the winner, Tappan Street, who's not running the race because of a minor injury, did need the points. In both the Street Sense and Fountain of Youth, Sovereignty showed a strong kick when asked by his jockey. This is pretty important in the Derby, when many horses start to run on low energy after a mile and an eighth, given that none have run farther than that distance in their careers, and the ability of a horse to accelerate quickly on the far turn and extricate himself from trouble can be very beneficial. Although his last 3 figures of 99, 98, and 94 are below the 100 threshold that other contenders I've mentioned so far have earned to date, it strikes me that since Sovereignty wasn't fully extended in the Florida Derby because it didn't need to be, he might run a winning race in this situation. Admired Daytona, like Luxor Cafe, is another Japanese-bred horse in the field. In the 2024 Derby, both Japanese-based horses ran very well, with Forever Young missing victory by inches, while Teo Password suffered from a significant amount of traffic and ended up 5th, rallying from 18th. Forever Young had won the UAE Derby prior to Kentucky Derby, the same race that Admired Daytona won this year. Admired Daytona earned a 108 Echo-based speed figure in the race, on par with the top contenders in the field. Although leading from start to finish in that race, he was resilient in holding off many challengers to prevail, and prior to that, he finished 4th behind Luxor Cafe in the Hyacinth. Although he led from start to finish in the UAE Derby, Admired Daytona rallied from 4th to win his first start this year in February. So it's proven he doesn't need the lead to win, and could be a factor this year the same way that Forever Young was 12 months ago. Final Gambit and Grande round out the group of contenders. They appear to have less probability of winning than the other ones mentioned, but they started odds of 20-1 and 30-1, and could be the type of horses we could be kicking ourselves after the race if we didn't bet a few bucks on them to win. Final Gambit put in a huge late run to win the Jeff Ruby Stakes March 22nd. He does his best running from last or nearly so, and if he gets rolling without traffic, could be thrilling to watch. He earned a 96 figure win at Jeff Ruby, which was a prep race, produced 2011 Derby winner Animal Kingdom, and 2023 runner-up, Two Phils. Final Gambit is traded by Brad Cox, who won the 2021 Derby with Mandaloon, and his sire, not this time, was the sire of 2023 third-place finisher Essential Quality. In the Jeff Ruby, per GPS data, which is available for racing fans, Final Gambit ran the fastest last eighth of a mile of any entrant in this field, running 37 miles an hour. Grande, another contender, finished second in the Wood Memorial last month in New York in his final prep for the Derby. The winner was Rodriguez, who, as mentioned earlier, is one of the needed lead types. Given that Grande closed from 7th in the Wood, with no contested pace to run into, Grande has a decent shot to continue his improving pattern from 88 in his debut to 89 speed figure in February to 106 last time out, and as a kind of son of Curlin, the same sire as Journalism, Grande should have no problem running a mile and a quarter. He could be a significant factor in the late stages for Todd Pletcher, who last won the Derby in 2017 with Always Dreaming. So, in the Kentucky Derby, race 12 at Churchill, 6:57 Eastern, Saturday, May 3rd, the first Saturday in May. I'm looking to bet 2 or 3 horses here to win at about 8-1 or less. If they're above 8-1, win place, and above 15-1, win place show. And my minimum odds reflects that. So Journalism has minimum odds of 3-1, Luxor Cafe 4-1, Baeza 6-1 if he gets in, Sovereignty 6-1, Admire, Daytona, Final Gambit, and Grande 15-1. I have no hesitation betting 3 or 4 horses here. Again, particularly $10 to win on a horse that might be 20-30-1 to get us 300 or 400 back, cover a lot of bets. The exactas are going to be 2 plays here, 3 plays actually. One is going to be a box. If Journalism doesn't win, it's going to pay very well. It's a 7-horse box, 6 if Baeza scratches, so it's going to be for $1, $42 or $30. It's going to be a box of Journalism, Luxor Cafe, Baeza, Sovereignty, Admire Daytona, Final Gambit, and Grande. Then, since I think Journalism and Luxor Cafe have a little edge in the field, I'm going to play Journalism and Luxor Cafe over Journalism, Luxor Cafe, Baeza, Sovereignty, Admire Daytona, Final Gambit, and Grande. Now, Journalism is going to be the favorite, so that exacta with Journalism on top may pay better than a win bet. And then last, just because anything can happen in the Derby, I want to play at least a $1 exacta of Journalism and Luxor Cafe overall. Again, it's going to be lower if Journalism wins. It's going to pay nicely if Luxor Cafe wins. And that's the way I'm playing the Kentucky Derby. You can get all of this analysis in writing, free at amwager.com on the Key Races and Bets blog. Go to amwager.com, AMWAGER. Click on How to Bet in All Stars blog. While you're there, look around. If you're not already a member, sign up. There's some great betting around the country, including 2 of these races, the Honey Ryder and the Charlie Whittingham. I hope you'll become a member if you're not already. If not, I hope you'll be betting there all weekend. No, I will. And thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.